Hey, how's it going? My name is Vashlos. If you didn't already know, this is the day 3 update for Dawn of the Hunt. I was playing Ritualist at first, and then I immediately regretted my decision. You're not allowed to undo your decision, so I had to make a new character. I didn't delete the old character, it's just rotting away on my character selection screen. I took all the gear off of it because I just don't think +1 ring is gonna end up being enough for me. I don't like that Blood Boil can only be applied to normal monsters. Some people are like, yeah, but it's like meant to be for skill clear, but it doesn't sit quite right with me that the skill doesn't have an outright like great thing going for it. The ritual sacrifice is really cool, but the self-sacrifice comes at a cost of most likely being your 4th ascendancy if you do choose to go that route. And you can only have one modifier at a time of the self-sacrifice where you like cut your hand. It didn't specify if you can have one self modifier and then multiple of the monster modifiers that you get from just naturally progressing through killing rares and stuff, but I wasn't willing to wait to find out, as I was generally having a bad time trying to play what I wanted. I wanted to play like a Zeal version with Rapid Assault, and it just didn't really feel good. It felt absolutely terrible, completely ZDPS. I was using Rake and Stomping Ground to like eke my way through the campaign while playing that Ritualist and this character as well, in all honesty. But I think the general consensus is that Stomping Ground is not intended to work with Rake. There is no like tag modifier that says this is a movement skill. Oh wait, no, it does now. Travel. So I guess they just added the tag instead of changing it. I didn't see that in any of the hotfixes, but reading, lol. Anyways, so they added that. So I guess Rake and Stomping Ground is absolutely intended now. They're going to go forward with it. However, I still changed ascendancies, right? So we're in Amazon now. We use Critical Strike. I heard that going Predatory Instinct early was actually the better play, but I want to just stack accuracy. I'm tired of doing the like most meta thing, man. I'm tired of it. I don't want to do only the most meta thing. I want to judge this game by its laurels. I want to see, like, can I actually explore and like try things out without having outright failure occur and then like punishment for attempting to experiment? So that's kind of how I see it. Feel free to disagree. I don't blame you. But man, please don't go around like telling people skill issue if you're playing like Lightning Spear or whatever. Because if I can just have like a quick to the side about damage effectiveness, because the other part of my build, besides becoming an Amazon that has changed, is that I don't use Rake anymore. I don't use Stomping Ground. I don't use Blood Hunt. I don't use Rapid Assault. I don't use Explosive Spear. And the unifying theme behind all of these things are the damage effectiveness. Look at that. Attack damage, 50%. Attack speed, 80%. Attack speed, 40%. Attack damage, 38%. That's for Rapid Assault. Rake, 77% attack damage with a 0.4 to total attack time. 85%. It also comes with the explosion. You're trying to synergize with bleed. Now, may I bring your attention to Spear Stab and Spear Throw. 3,659 damage. That is ignoring Execute. I can take out Execute. That does not factor in my 50% more damage whenever that target is low life. And then I've got Spear Stab with Pin, Rage, and Heavy Swing. So a little bit more scaling from Rage, though it's not always going to be perfect. And then the Pin is so that I'm planning on engaging with Frenzy charges eventually. I don't have it active right now, though, because I still have Herald of Blood. I need more Spirit, basically. And yeah, if we hover over these skills, we notice the attack damage is 251%. It is currently level 11 if it were a skill gym. It naturally gains sockets as you level up, which is nice. That's the way it should work, in my opinion. I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to provide context to help illustrate the disparity at hand here. And yeah, like just another quick example, Spearfield. I like Spearfield. I actually think that this skill is appropriately balanced. This is a skill that makes sense to have a reduced attack speed because this thing can pump. If enough spears that this thing activates are triggered, it will absolutely shred whatever is walking through it. So I think Spearfield is a good example of something that has a reduced, whether it's attack speed value or attack damage value. But everything else, I don't know, man. 201%. 251%. They buffed Spear Throw recently. To have 8% more damage at all levels. So this thing is scaling now. It also has a built-in explosion. I didn't know about that until yesterday. Not sure if you guys do, but it has 466% damage effectiveness whenever it consumes a frenzy charge with a radius of 2 meters. So Spear Throw is like low-key one of the best spear skills, and it's just an auto attack. It's an inherent thing of spears. Makes the game feel like I'm playing a really slow Vampire Survivors simulator, kind of, though. Just for a quick note, I don't think that you can have the explosion proc if you have Pierce. I haven't tried it yet. I want to try it, but I just don't have frenzy charges consistently enough for this to be like a focal point of my build. Other important information that could potentially be affecting my experience is that I have picked up some skill speed in different spots. But I wouldn't say I've picked up like anything crazily out of the ordinary, you know? Like I wouldn't say I've like really gone out of my way to make a build that like makes all of the other skills seem bad. And like to like help auto attacks shine abnormally, right? Like I would say I've made like rather normal decisions here with my passive points. I've picked up Dance with Death so that I can get more skill speed. That's maybe like the one abnormal thing I've decided to do. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if Dance with Death is actually a meta decision. I've been trying to stay away from that. That's why I'm like maybe grumpier than the average person who is, let's say, enjoying Fangs of Frost, which has a damage effectiveness of 115%, or Lightning Spear, which they just buffed with 133% effectiveness of attack damage. Not to mention, the rest of the Lightning Spear skills apparently really pump. All of the Lightning Spear skills are apparently like, yeah, those are fine. Chef's kiss, done. Don't worry about them anymore. Fangs of Frost, even I would say like this is probably fine. It has built-in freeze, so it shouldn't really go too crazy in terms of any more damage effectiveness. I don't think it should have a reduced attack speed, though. I think, like, hey, just let people play Fangs of Frost, and it's a single strike skill, so it's not like it has too much else going for it. It does have the Nova, though, which has an effectiveness of 138. That could probably be pumped up a little bit more. Because if you're hitting a parried target and consumes the debuff, then why not really feel the weight of that consumption, right? Like if Spear Throw gets to have a 466% modifier, then why does a skills Nova not have something equivalent or greater than 466? Hey, don't shoot the messenger, right? Like I'm just trying to draw comparisons to help you understand that no, it is not a complete skill issue. You can look at it in that way if you really want, right? Like you can try and boil it down into like everybody else is just being stupid right now if they're mad, but unfortunately that just doesn't make sense not saying you can't do it, but I'm not going to tell you it makes sense. As literally, there are a ton of spear skills that are just set up for failure due to their current damage effectiveness. And here's the thing. That damage effectiveness makes sense whenever you do give them mechanics to like work around that reduced effectiveness with. Right now, a lot of the solutions, such as like whenever you get a frenzy charge and stuff, it's far too little or too late, or too many actions have been performed in order for it to be satisfying, or just genuinely, in the case of Rapid Assault, there's just really not enough going on here in order for you to like make this your thing. Like 38% effectiveness of attack damage is atrociously bad. The last hit, you have 153% effectiveness. It's got increased strike range, always inflicts bleeding, knocks them back, and you can quality this, leave an additional spearhead in the target. You're supposed to detonate these with like the leaping lightning strike skill. But again, it's like you're attacking enough times with Rapid Assault to where it's like, why do I care about like detonating it? Like, wouldn't I just like want Rapid Assault to be my build, like I'm a Zealer from Diablo 2? That's my thought process, is like, I feel like some of these combos that they have laid out for us are just very restrictive. And unfortunately, whenever something has this big of a downside in terms of like, 38% effectiveness of added damage, there just isn't enough else going on in the game that can make this like comparable to something that has above a 100% effectiveness of added damage. Because it's not like this game has Blade of the Ruined King, right? Like where every time you hit something, it applies an on-hit effect that reduces the target's like percentage maximum life, right? Like that does not exist in the game, at least to my knowledge, yet. And those are the kinds of mechanics that I would say are like missing. There needs to be like upfront mechanics that I can either equip on my gear, or something that doesn't involve me going through some elaborate set of hoops in order to reach the conclusion of, yes, I finally do normal damage. When I do a combo, the combo should feel like I just Wombo comboed somebody. I don't know if that meme is like relevant anymore. But like in Super Smash Bros. Melee, is like Fox and Falco are just absolutely decking the hell out of their opponents left and right. They don't even get a single hit in. And then they spike them off the platform to their doom. That's what I want to feel like whenever I'm performing a combo. I want it to matter. I want it to be something that, yes, I can't do that every time, but when I do manage to pop it off, it is immediately apparent about why I should care to try and do that. Just food for thought. And that's my story. That's why I am only using Spear Throw, Spear Stab, Spear Field, and Disengage. I would like to play with the Roa Spirit Gem. I'd like to play with the presence thing, that the longer a unique monster is in your presence, the more damage you deal to them. This is probably going to be a pretty spirit-heavy build that I have planned going forward. And I am going to continue playing, all complaints aside, all of my criticisms that have been ignored, and as constructive as I've attempted to be, I'm going to do my best to not, like, get too irate over these recent happenings. I feel as though I've said my say, I've gotten it out of my system. I may still, like, continue talking about it because it's still relevant, right? Like, I mean, we're all still going through this. This is like an active experience we're all witnessing. And, yeah, my goal isn't to be incendiary. I am still in GGG's corner. I am rooting for them. I want them to succeed. I want this game to be the best it possibly can be, but it's bewildering to feel as though there was a plethora of good input, not only from myself. If you just completely ignore me, there's still fantastic input, right? Like from all of the other big content creators, or Darth Microtransaction, or Zizarin, or Dijo, any of them, they're all absolutely fantastic, and they have their own unique perspective that should be put onto the measuring scale. But it feels as though it's all gone towards the wind. You're hearing a lot of people say that Huntress is either a bad experience or they're not having a good time. And why a lot of these skills may be in need of a damage effectiveness buff or a philosophical overhaul when it comes to mechanics and their payoff. Trying to think of anything else that I could say. Don't go harassing anybody, right? Like, no matter how they feel about the game right now, whether, you know, you're upset with GGG, don't go harassing GGG. I'm just as upset as the next guy. I love experimenting in these kinds of games and feeling around and doing my own thing. I'm a huge fan of the Timmy Johnny Spike article from Magic the Gathering, if you know what that is, and I personally identify as a bit of a Johnny player. So I feel like this all kind of like hits really close to home. It touches on a lot of subjects that I've been complaining about for what feels as though it were a very long time. Maybe some of my regular viewers could chime in and say like, yeah, you've definitely been saying that it's headed this direction with how they've balanced POE 1 and whatnot, but another thing that I could, you know, squeeze in here, if I may, on the tail end of saying something maybe a little inflammatory. I think that it is okay if this game doesn't really have as much like mitigating factors when it comes to taking damage, because we've got like dodge roll, that's an active thing. We've got active solutions in this game, and that's what I want when it comes to ailments. That's what I want when it comes to being stunned. If I'm stunned, since I'm the player, I want to be able to like mash a button. I want to mash a button so that I can get out of being frozen, or wake my character up, or like, you know, shake off the flames on my shoulders, or I don't know what. I'm not going to say it'll work for every ailment, but I think that's what's missing, at least in that aspect. This is a many-faceted gym that we're talking about here, right? So I'm not going to say that will fix the entirety of the game right now, but I think that that will help make some of the worst parts, which is losing control of your character, feel immensely better, because that's how it's worked in a lot of games for me before, is if I get frozen, I gotta mash my controller and break out of the ice. Or I just got knocked out, I've gotta wake myself up and mash the buttons. That's how I think about it.
Aye. Were it magic or technology?
Fool! There is no time for this. Aziri will soon commune with the beast. Cease your assault.
I really do wish them well. They've got a very full plate in front of them right now. I hope that they can reel it in. But I am genuinely concerned with the recent direction and the rather tone-deaf posts, whether they be a hotfix or what we're working on, right? Like, I don't know anymore, man. But thanks for tuning in. Listen to me ramble about it all. Hopefully you guys will leave me a comment. I would really, really love to know what you think about all of this. Yeah, I think that's what's honestly gonna help us all get through it more than anything, is just talking about it and like try to establish a space that's just like, hey, this is happening whether we're happy about it or not. So like, let's just try to put our heads together and come up with solutions to things that feel bad. I think that's the best way forward. Or be a doomer. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I've definitely been dooming, dude, okay? I've definitely been dooming a whole heck of a lot. I've been playing and playing and playing and playing, and I'm just like slowly coming to the realization of different things, and I've certainly had an outburst and cursed a couple of times, so I'm not perfect. None of us are. But thanks for tuning in. You guys are fantastic. Perfect or not, you are fantastic. And I hopefully will see you here next time. Have fun. And peace out. Sorry, I was playing with a piece of plastic. Peace out.